Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? I hope that you're well. Yesterday I was meant to come on, yet I was so tired. I fall asleep on the train when I got home. Sorry, I couldn't even connect with myself. I was so tired. Hence the reason. Anyway, I hope that you guys are well. What are you grateful for today? There's so many things out there. We had some fantastic weather last week and the beginning of the week this week. So those are some of the things to be grateful for. Grateful for life, grateful for where you are right now. Other people have not made it today, but you have. So that's something powerful to be grateful for. Right. My students have finished the exams, as I said. However, I've started giving them past exam papers to see where they are. So it means that I'm now taking home a set of marking again. So I've started the marking all over. Well, that have its pluses and minuses. The fact that the pressure is not as intense, but I do still have to do the marking very quickly because I need to see the student, need to know where the students are at. And yesterday was quite interesting. In one of my lessons, half of my students decide not to turn up to the lesson. Normally, when students don't attend lessons, it is called that they're missing lesson or the bunk lesson, so therefore there are consequences. One of the consequences, you give them detention, right? And when I realized half of my class wasn't there, I thought, okay, someone had said that they had drop down days, which means that they had various alternative intervention, etc. But no one told me anything, so I thought, okay. So the interesting thing about it, I gave them a test the day before yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday. Tuesday, I gave them a test to see where they are, etc. So they either decide they were not going to come because then they think that they'll be getting the results, or those who did not do the testing, they were going to do the test. Whatever the reason, they decide not to come. Anyway, yesterday I was talking to one of my colleagues about that, and she said to me, oh, she's going to go and see if she could find them. This one I said to her, did you find them? She said no, but one student said another one told them that I wasn't in. Interesting. So the student who said I was not in is the student I see every morning in my PD lesson. So I met her today in the lift and I said to her, why are you saying to student I wasn't there? She said, Miss, that's just an excuse they're using. Because first of all, they said that the upper six told them that I wasn't there. And the group says no, they had nothing to do with the, year 12 because they don't speak to year 12 like that. When I actually confronted the student, she said to me, Miss, I did tell them I was only joking, but they decided they want to take it as gospel. I said, oh, I'm only joking. Miss Dan isn't here. And then, she said, no, she's here. I'm only joking. But the student decided that they didn't want to come to my lesson. So normally you would be given a detention. And I thought, okay, give a detention. It's about 6 or 8 of them. What is the point of me giving them a detention? I need to really find out the real reason why they decide not to come, even though they were told that I am here, I was there, and I had a lesson. So that sometimes we don't always have to give a detention because the school say that you need to give a detention for that particular thing they've done. I do feel that sometimes we need to find out what the real reasons are. So I have only met the students on the corridor and I had a brief discussion with them, but I had no intention of engaging with them on the corridor. So tomorrow I've got a lesson with them, so I need to find out the real reason why they've actually decided to take what the students say as gospel, even though she says she was joking. So it'll be interesting to see why they say that. There's sometimes we need to find out the why and then make us this decision as to whether the why is valid enough so that we could actually make decision on those. Because I do not feel that because you're in an institution and they actually support detention, you should give a detention all the time. Because it's a waste of time because students become so immune to the detention. It is not solving the purpose it's meant to serve. As I said to you guys last week, this is one school I've seen 100 and plus, 160 something, 200 children on detention in the evening. That's a waste of time. Alternative need to be found to deal with, some of these reasons why these children are not either attending school on time, disruptive behavior, constantly talking. That's why I'm having my class all the time, constantly talking, feel that they constantly need to be rude to each other. So those are things we need to find the reason for that, and possibly do restorative justice instead of giving detention all the time. I don't feel detention works. Um, okay, we'll be on holidays as from Friday. Oh my goodness, and I'm really looking forward to that. I am totally exhausted. Really, really exhausted. I cannot wait to be on holidays, that I could sleep. That's one of the first thing I'm doing. We have quite a lot of things to do in terms of preparing, because the students are doing, when they get, some of them, when they come back after Easter, the first or the second week they're in exam. So that's a lot of, stress for us as teachers, because we need to make sure that they're prepared, and a lot of them are not prepared because they've never had exams before, because we had COVID, and they were actually, assessed with the teachers to get their GCSE grades. So in terms of A level, they're all over the place. So one of the things that I'm going to be preparing when I'm on holidays is going through the system to see what, the exam questions, and just posting exam questions online and getting them to do it, so that when they come back I could mark it. So those are some of the things we are planning to do. And some schools are doing intervention, so which means in the holidays you are going in to support students probably once, twice, or three times a week. So people tend to feel that as educators we have this long holiday. We don't have this long holiday, because when we're on holidays we are either marking, preparing lesson for the next semester, planning, and finding various things to support your students. So as much as I'm glad that I'll be off, the reason why I'm glad I'll be off is there would be not a rigid structure as I have when I'm at school, right? But I'll still be going to YouTube, looking online for exam questions, ways to help my students so that they understand the question, doing essays, so that when I see them, show them the structure of essay, give them past exam papers, and also plan my lessons for when we get back. So those are some of the things we're doing, because as much as we say that, we're on holidays, there's some things we have to do. And it's either do it in the first week or the second week. For me, I'm doing everything in the first week, so that the second week completely cut off. And educators, if you're on this page, you need to take time out. By that I mean switch your phone off. If your phone actually is attached to your work email, you switch that off. Allow it to have an automatic email response, so that you're not always in work mode. This is one of the things I've refused to do. One of my colleagues, when she was setting up the email, actually the IT guy and another colleague of mine, saying, oh, you could have your email on your mobile phone. No, no, no. My email is on the computer. When I get into work, I'm looking at my email. I do not look at my email anytime other than when I'm at work in the premises. That's when I do feel that I should be looking at my email. Yes, there's sometimes it quite be stressful, because when I look, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this is something I should have done earlier on. But as my argument is, I start work at 8:15. So if it is not connected with work on, after 8:15, I'm not interested. That's not my business, right? And I do think that we need to start setting boundaries, or else the boundary is going to be setting us. And as educators, our job is very much vocational, so that sometimes you need to have a cutoff point. And my cutoff point is when I am at work, I look at my email. If I'm not at work, I am not looking at my email. There must be, there must be a limit at some point, because when I'm home, I still have to be doing marking. I still have to be going on Teams and putting question on Teams, uploading the PowerPoint, which I probably did in my lesson but didn't have the time to upload it. So I'm doing all of that, and I'm definitely not looking at email. I'm definitely not looking at work email. You know, I see a number of colleagues have the emails on the phone, and it's like every time they're looking, they're clicking on. No, 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 sorry. I am not clicking on because I don't want to know. When I get into work, that's when for me my time starts. Yes, in terms of the email, but I do other work at home, as I said, in terms of uploading exam questions, uploading, process of doing exams, uploading PowerPoint, because this is what I want the students to do. Yes, I'm going to do all of that because when I'm at work, I don't have time to do that. That sometimes it's just a constant run, run, run. It's lovely being an educator, it's lovely, but there's sometimes you feel as if you're on a roller coaster. You constantly, once you get on, it's not stopping, it's like constantly rolling. And that's how I've been feeling for the last few days. It's like I get onto this roller coaster and it's just constantly going because this week I've been on lunch duty every day. So being on lunch duty means that you either have lunch after lunch duty, so you'll have a free period that you have your lunch, or you have lunch before. Yesterday, I think I had lunch after. Today, I had lunch after as well. And it's interesting, being on lunch duty. Some schools have been on lunch duty, but not so much. But this school, oh my goodness, they decide to make sure they have full use of me. Every day I have been on lunch duty. The plus is I have not been outside because it's become quite chilly now, so I've been inside, either in the outside girls' toilet, outside the prayer room, on the corridor, checking that the students are not messing around, that they're going out for fresh air and all of that. Because students seem to have a way of congregating in the toilet where they use the toilet walls as the canvas. So that's something we're trying to avoid. As much as I encourage them to draw, I do feel that they need to use the real canvas instead of using the toilet walls as the canvas. So that's some of the things we're trying to stamp out because a lot of schools and a lot of students tend to do that. Right, so this have been my day. What's my win? One of my wins is, the students, not only my year 10, 11, 12, and 13, other students are connecting, they're coming up to me, they have so much to say. So much to say. But it's quite nice that they're feeling comfortable enough to discuss some issues with me, which is quite good. So that's one of my wins. Another of my big win today, oh my goodness, I had year 13 and we were doing year 13, we were doing, they've got exams when they come back. So it's one of the A-level subjects. And it was interesting because we are almost at the end of the topic, just finishing up. And one student said to me, Miss, can I teach the lesson? Can I teach the session? I said, yes. I said, we've done it already. We're on the last part. So you could either do the last piece or you could actually do a summary and do a revision. Oh my goodness, that was so powerful. She actually used the whiteboard. She did mind map because this is what I do with my students. We do mind map. So which means that trigger words which will enable them to remember the whole sentence. So that actually helps in terms of really, really going deep into revision, going real deep so that they actually start identifying keywords which will enable them to form the whole sentence. So she's actually used a mind map on the whiteboard and I was so proud of her today. I was proud of all of them because they were so engaging and they were excited and they were, it was like a kind of a competition. They were, it's like to see which one knew more, and it was just a beautiful setup. One of the things is, in order to test what you know, you need to teach. You need to teach it to other people. So the fact that she was teaching it to her peers, it was demonstrating that she knew what she was talking about. There are a few bits I had to add in, little bits and pieces, but overall, it was fantastic. She was really using it as a platform for revision. Because what I did with the rest of them, I gave them all an exam question and I asked them to prepare it and present in pairs. So that's what they did. They've been doing that all week, and it's been really fantastic. Some of them use the PowerPoint, some of them use the mind map in terms of the flip chart paper. Others just use the board. Some of them just use notes and just go through the process of, introduction and going down the process of doing the exam question. So that was really, really good. So in terms of the connection, it's been beautiful. It's been really, really beautiful. So on those bases, I really am pushing my students, because I really have to push them to start. I want all of them to start presenting, not just a group, but as individual. So we break up on Friday, but I'm trying to see tonight if I could set them all an exam question. So when they come back, they all have to present that exam question as individuals, not as, as a group, as I asked them to do. So that was my real big win today, when the one student wanted to take the lesson and teach the session. Because, as I said, in order for you to test what you know, you need to teach it to someone else. And the fact that she was teaching it, yes, her spelling wasn't wonderful, but she acknowledged that, and she realized that, being in front of the board, it meant that there was some element of nervousness, so her spelling wasn't very good. So she acknowledged that. And I said to her, you need to just work on that, because you know how to spell it. So just get that sorted. So it was really, really good. So that's my big win today. My students are beginning to connect. They're beginning to really embrace it. Because initially when I first started and I started doing mind map, they were kicking against it. Oh, Miss Mind Map, what do you mean by mind map? I cannot connect with mind map. And I'm very consistent. I'm this kind of teacher who doesn't, I don't come off. I'm very consistent, especially if I know something works well. Like the 20 minutes chunk in my lesson, that's how I teach 20 minutes, and we have a 2 minutes break. It doesn't matter what we're doing, 20 minutes, down tools, brain break, and I give them 2-3 minutes brain break. I don't care what is happening. After the 20 minutes, either they're presenting or I'm teaching. After 20 minutes, we down tools, brain break. Get up, stretch, run to the toilet if you have to, talk to your next door neighbor, walk around the class, etc. That's fine. There's sometimes within that time I would do meditation, or I'm going to ask them to stretch and touch the ceiling, etc. I know they can, but just touch it, stretch towards it. So that for me is important. So in terms of getting them, like in that, it just really is fantastic. So initially, as I said, the mind map wasn't something they connected with. Today's one student said to me, "Oh, Miss, when you first started, I think this is 9 weeks, can't remember. It's about 9 weeks. When you first started, you wanted us to do mind map. I really hated it. I didn't understand it, but I'm really loving it, because I could see how it forces me to condense my notes. It forces me to get, to identify keywords. And that's the purpose of mind map. So that you actually drill down into your revision and you actually get keywords. That's what I said to them. When I actually give you a mind map, I give you an exam question. So there's an exam question for which you actually start, doing the mind map around that. Because in order for students to revise well, they need to be focusing on an exam question. Just revising very passively is not revision. It's not effective. They've got to be actively revising with a question in mind and focus on that. So one of the first things I said to them, you get the question, you brainstorm what you know, and to fill in the gaps, you go into your books, right? To fill in the gaps. So that was really, my win, where students were on point, excited. Yes, they were using the books some of the times, but some of the times it was coming from their head. It was really, really brilliant. I've got them again. This particular group, I see them every day. So I see them tomorrow, and then I see them on Friday. So what I'm going to do, probably get some exam papers, exam questions to put on Teams, so that, and just tell them, put a note, say, make sure you guys read up that. So when I see you guys tomorrow, we're going to do that in the class. So that's my win today. Also, people out there, every day there is a win. You just have to look inside, reflect, and see, okay, what went well for me today. A win is what went well. And every day something go well in your life, you know. Although you might have some negatives, but within the negative there is positive. The universe never give you all negative. So identify the positive. That positive is your win. And celebrate it. And use it as a form of empowerment for yourself and for your students. Or for, if you're not an educator, use it for yourself and for the people around you. But most of all, use it for yourself, because it empowers you to do more and do better. Right. Self-love and self-care, that is crucial. You need to remember, every stage of the way, you need to take care of you. It is so very important. No one will take care of you as you take care of yourself. Self-love and self-care, whether or not that means just having 10 minutes off where you just sit down and do nothing. Celebrate yourself. That is taking care of yourself. Whether or not it means that going out for a walk, that's taking care of yourself. Whether or not it means buying yourself some flowers, taking care of yourself. Whether or not it just means just being in space with you, having your space where you just enjoy your company and see that as a sacred place. For me, what is very sacred is my lunch break and my break time is very sacred. I don't do anything on those two. My lunch break is sacred. Although I'm doing lunch duty, when I have my lunch break after my lunch duty, that is sacred. I don't do any marking there unless it's absolutely crucial. And I must want to do it for me. I don't, do no meetings, any of those things. If anybody say, oh, Debbie, can we meet, in your lunch break just to discuss? No. Or can we meet in your break? No, that's my time. I see those as very, very sacred. Years ago, when I first got into teaching, I didn't see it as sacred. I just think it as, oh, well, a manager wants to see you. You use your time for that. No, sir. Not anymore. Self-love and self-care is extremely important to me. So, hence the reason. Anyway, guys, have a great evening, morning, night where you are. And remember, love upon yourself. No one could love you as you love you. And you won't have enough if you don't love yourself to give to others. You need to give to yourself first before you are able to give to anybody else. Anyway, take care, stay blessed. Have a fantastic evening, night, morning where you are. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.